guys, we are officially live. Thank you so much for taking your valuable time to hang out with us. Before we get too much into it, my name is Jeremy Collins. I am a luxury real estate marketing coach. I have the privilege and honor of meeting with you guys on a daily basis, sitting down, diving into your business, and kind of figuring out what we can do to improve it, right? What we can do to make more money ultimately. And so I'm so excited to be joined with one of my favorite people. Lisa, you are a total rock star in my opinion. So tell me a little bit where you're at and let people kind of get to know you a little bit.
Absolutely. So I am on beautiful Cape Cod in Massachusetts. Been selling for a while. I've got a team here at EXP here on the Cape and in the Northeast. I'm a serial volunteer, so do lots of stuff in EXP as well as for National Association of Realtors. But my very favorite job of all is Glamma to Eloise Ann, who just celebrated her 4th birthday. So that's me in a nutshell.
I love it. I love it. All right, guys. So we're going to go and dive in. I'm going to pull my slide deck back up here so I know what the heck I'm doing. But feel free during this presentation, guys, feel free to, drop in the chat. Let's talk a little bit. If you find something that hits a nerve with you or find something that you've done before that's worked well, go ahead and drop it in the chat and let us know about it. Keep that chat going and let's talk to each other. So before we dive too much into it, let's talk a little bit about the pre-marketing of the open house, right? And we always got to keep the sellers in mind, which we'll talk more about that in a minute. But these are just some basics, guys. Some of the stuff that really does work. And, I'm not the one that always stands, when I'm on stage talking, I'm always like, hey, let's not go back to the basics. Let's actually keep the basics going all the time. Because a lot of times we go back, that means we forgot the basics. And so we want to keep doing this for all the open houses we're doing. Number one, what I find work, Lisa, is the direct mail postcards. They do work. Postcards are not dead. Direct mail's not dead. I know, you as a real estate where you are, Lisa, what do you get postcards from areas or other agents doing things?
I get a little bit, but actually I use this and I have continued to use it. I have a couple of farming areas that I use. And then when I have a fabulous sale, just had a walk through at a closing tomorrow for one that I'm going to be using, I will do a very, a campaign right around there before and then after, depending on what the home is. I think it was kind of dead a while ago.
Yep.
But since pandemic,
Oh man,
people
it's picked up.
it's absolutely shifted. And I think, again, that's a whole nother sometime, love to do a mini on direct mail today, but
Yeah, I'm all about
absolutely.
direct mail too. So, guys, listen, here's the deal. Immediate to the immediate neighbors. So you're going to mail this piece, and this is not like a really expensive, investment, guys, right? You can do short runs with all kinds of different companies out there. And so you could do a 25 piece, a 50 piece mailing run, and you can still get that done in an affordable rate. You can even do individual postcard mailings if you want to, but you want to reach that immediate sphere, right? You want the buzz to get going about that. I don't know about you, Lisa, but I like to get it out at least a week before if I can. If we know in advance time, like a lot of these luxury properties, they're in a market for a lot longer period of time than normal. So you have a little bit of time, guys, right? To jump in there and get some a week out, right? Letting people know at least a week out to know that prep their time to know, oh, okay, open house. Oh, maybe I can go to that, right?
In the luxury market, it's not usually an emergency.
That's
So
good.
we actually have a runway. We can create that runway
I love it.
through our conversations and the confidence that we have knowing we need this runway. You only have one opportunity to make that first impression. That's true everywhere, but with a luxury property, this stuff is even more important
And I
because
love that. So I love that actually you just mentioned the runway. And I think that's a great segment to talk about this. So like you control the marketing, right? The client doesn't have to control the marketing. You can say, hey, here's the plan. Here's the plan that I've been very successful with, 2 weeks out, a week out, 3 days out, 2 days out. You build that. And so that's what these pieces are. So direct mail postcards, great. Send them to your sphere, send them to your SOI list, right? Send them to your list. I love the fact that if you take this list and every time you do an open house, you mail it to your specific sphere of influence, guys, that is just more brand for you, right? That's more of saying, hey, he's a real estate agent. Oh, he's still doing business. And I'm okay with that. So mail it to them. I had a question. I saw someone ask the question earlier that said, do we mail these to other real estate agents? What's your thoughts on that, Lisa?
I think everybody's on the marketing team.
I love
And
it.
when we talk a little bit more about what we can do with agents in order to promote the property, they're absolutely on our marketing team. So, we still have, no matter what happened 2 weeks ago and going forward, we still will be having some form of cooperative compensation, even though it will not be specifically listed on the multiple listing service. That is still going to exist in some way. And no matter what, we need to have a buyer agent and a seller agent representing buyers and sellers in a transaction. So, Jack Cotton, a luxury realtor here locally, has always taught me that, the one of the most important relationships ever is with other agents. And that's a relationship that you create and treat with kid gloves. And so I would absolutely, they're part of the marketing team. I would send them a card.
I
Yep.
love it. All right, so send to your farm, send to your niche, right? Knock that direct most postcard out. You can do it affordably, guys. Social media posts, like this is where I get excited because this is where you can promote to your influence, the people that already watch you, the people that already are waiting for you, honestly, to post something. And so you should be doing these social media posts. And there's so many different options that, right? You could do a video, you could do a graphic, you could do, I know in the EXP Luxury Design Center, we have tons of graphics in there you guys can grab and use and customize. There's multiple mediums. There's multiple platforms, right? TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube Shorts. I could go on and on. So the issue is pick one and actually just do it and get your stuff out there. I even sometimes tag my sellers in it because then they see it and they're like, oh, and then they share it out with all their friends. And it's like a trickle. Now, be careful with that, obviously, right? Privacy, all that good stuff. Make sure they're okay with it before you do it. But it does work. Boost and run ads. Okay. This is one I used to own an SEO company for years, guys, and I did a lot of ads. I used to run the manual Facebook ads, right? Actually loading into Facebook and going, taking the tedious time to take 25, 30 minutes to create a Facebook ad. There's a lot of better ways to do that now, right? I know if you have KV Core, they have the property boost feature. Google Ads is a great opportunity for you, but paid media does work. It does get the eyeballs, right? So for me, I kind of like going to these sellers and saying, hey, I'm going to get you the first week we do this open house, I'm going to get you 20,000 eyeballs. And how can I say that effectively? Because I'm going to pay for it. And so there is some thought process to that because you can prove the concept. I got 20,000 people to see this because I paid $200 for the ad. Now, there is some good stuff to that. Email marketing your list. Lisa, do you do email marketing when you do open houses? Do you send like an email out to your sphere or to the people in your database?
Absolutely. And the most important one I send out to are all the 2,500 Cape Cod agents.
Oh, I
So
love it.
they will get an email about the open house along with any number of items that I want to make sure we point out. We'll have in there a link to the unbranded tour so they can share that with their clients. So we have a
That's
whole
awesome.
list of things that we put in those emails. And there's nobody on Cape Cod who doesn't know exactly what I'm doing at every moment.
So think about this for a minute. I love this idea. So, and I don't know if I really ever kind of formulated it this way, but you have two major lists, right? You have your clients or potential clients, and then you have your agents. And so you're sending them two different things. So like Lisa, for example, she's sending an asset email. Basically, she's saying, hey, here, agents, check this property out. Here's a link to all these assets that we've created for it. Some of these could be unbranded assets too, right? Like these could be like assets they could take and use and
Correct.
promote the property. So if you have this luxury property set in the market for, months, maybe longer, this would be a great opportunity to email every realtor in your area, right? With an asset list. Because, hey, if they don't have any inventory, what's better than they could just take and kind of, if you're giving them access and saying, yes, it's okay. I don't see the problem in it. I love that. I think that's a great idea. Okay. Video marketing. Now, Lisa, I'm not going to talk very long on this because this is one I could talk forever on. But video marketing, guys, I just literally an hour ago got off of a workshop with with about, I don't know, a couple hundred people, and we talked about video marketing. Talked about short form videos. So if you're not shooting short form videos, this is a crucial element, especially for open houses. So what that means, guys, is when your videographer comes out and shoots your property, right? They shoot those 4-minute long videos, 3-minute long videos of your property. Before they send that to them, ask them, hey, can you chop that up into 30-second clips? Chop that up into 60-second clips. because you're going to burn the internet up with those things and they'll do it for you. A lot of times they barely charge you hardly anything extra to chop it up. And so that's a great way to do it. Any other ideas,
Make
Lisa,
sure you have,
on the
yeah,
video?
yeah, I was gonna say, make sure that you have them shoot you
Oh, it's
walking to the
good.
front door and opening the front door, because that piece of it you can keep putting into, into the front of all those assets. They want to get you in the front door and then, buy sort of one of the really breathtaking features. And we'll talk about the special features later when we talk, but that's something also you
So
want to
she made a
focus
good point there, guys. Personalize your videos. Like, don't just make it where anybody could see this property. Like, do it where you're introing the property. Have your videographer stand there and say, check this a beautiful, amazing, or like, tell you what, I'll give you an intro that I use on my open houses that my coaches use all the time. This intro works every time. You say, I can't believe what's in this $1.2 million home. And you
Love
just the
it.
intro. And
Love
people
it.
stay the whole freaking video to watch it until they find out, oh, it was concrete, table covers or whatever. It didn't have to be cool, but it keeps them watching. And I think those are great. I call them hooks. So there's a lot of hooks you can put into your videos. Targeted boosted videos. I think that's great, guys. Obviously, you can boost your videos you shoot on Instagram, on Facebook, and put a little money behind it. Welcome video posted to start an open house. That's kind of cool. Door knock. Now, okay. People will tell me all the time, door knock. Do we door knock? Some people are like, no, we don't really door knock. And so then honestly, I talked to a luxury agent yesterday, about last week sometime, and they said, Jeremy, I door knock every time I do an open house. I'm like, oh, okay. Hey, if it works, it works, right? So it really just know your audience. Somebody said, I just put in here, me too. Definitely works. I love that. So look, it's whatever fits you, whatever fits your personality, right? Don't be uncomfortable doing it. So if you're going to be really, really uncomfortable doing it, don't do it because it's going to come off like you're very uncomfortable doing it. So you want to fit who you are and roll with it. I love that. It says, I always get unrepresented buyers when I'm listing. That's so cool, dude. I love it. Okay, keep on chugging along here, guys. Open house riders. Okay, now, Lisa, I know you do open house riders. When do you put them out? What's your thoughts on that?
So I put out open house riders day of about 30 minutes before the open house. I mean, depending on the neighborhood, if it's really far from one house to the next, I might put that up, but I feel this in the luxury space. I feel like I'm always wanting to err on the side of discretion and privacy and elegance. And so I don't really want there to be like a neighborhood hue and cry. People know that the house is for sale because the for sale sign has been out there for a while. I have, really beautiful luxury signs. But I do put it out that day of. And with a luxury property, I do not put signs like every 3 feet going up to the house. And people find it. I mean, I had, people find the house because they've seen it on Zillow and they're waiting for it. It's beautiful and they want to get a chance to look at it, or they see it online
I
somewhere.
love it. Now, I've seen somebody ask what your riders look like, what's the design of them. Guys, if it's a luxury property, keep them clean, right? Keep them very, I call them, more white space or black space, whatever your rider colors are, right? But make sure they're clean. Make sure they stand out, make sure they pop, and then make them clean. Same thing for any like yard riders you put out, make them clean, make them feel like that property. And it definitely does work. John, I will get you some samples after this. Okay. After this workshop, I'm going to share the slide deck with you guys, and I will definitely do that for you guys. Sure. I'll get you graphics and pictures and everything. Yep. I love it. Yeah. It says, I don't overpopulate the signage. They're
Less
on
is
Zillow. I love
more.
that. It's very cool. I agree. Okay, keep on going. Maximizing your traffic, guys. So you got your prep work done. You got the basics done, right? How do we get the most maximized traffic out of this open house? Because honestly, no one wants to set an open house empty. Okay. It is a bad feeling. It just makes you feel bad and it's just not good. So you need to maximize the best you can. So I love this idea, especially for luxury properties. Plan a VIP hour before the open house. So let's say your open house is 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock. The 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock is a special VIP hour. Now, who do you invite to the VIP hour, right? So many options. You can invite the neighbors, right? That could be, and I've seen some people do a really good job with this. I've seen people order the black envelopes from Amazon, put a nice little VIP card, open house in it, and I've seen them mail it to these homes in the area. I've seen that. And I've seen it do really, really, really well because it looks like it is a personal invite to them, not a bulk mailing. And so if you can pull that off in a couple of weeks, it is a total game changer. VIP hours, guys, is all about showing people they're special. And so if they're in a neighborhood and they want an hour before the people from Zillow come in, that's awesome, right? You get to have more time with them. I think that's a great opportunity. Mail out VIP invites to the neighbors. Let's talk about that. Send out VIP invites to your sphere. Now, that's a crazy idea. I kind of like that. So if you've got your A list, like, I don't know if you guys divide your list in A's, B's, and C's. I know that's what I like to do. But let's say you have your 50 people that are A clients or A potential clients. Send that email out to them, especially if they have the same financial status that this house would kind of provide because they've got friends, right, that are possibly in that same thought process, that same sphere. I tell you one little, it's not in my notes and I didn't write this down, but if you guys look up influencers, I'm telling you right now, this is crazy. I had an agent do this down in Dallas, Texas recently. They came in and what they did, guys, is they brought in an influencer. They paid an influencer like $150, not much at all. And the influencer came in during the open house and went live on their Instagram, local Instagram, and it went crazy. I mean, it got so much attention. I was blown away by it. And so could I spend $150 in postcards versus I would have never thought an Instagram, a personality, bring them in, but holy crap, it worked. So that's some outside the box thinking. And that agent got a good return. He actually sold the property with like in 2 weeks or something like that. And it was like 2.2 million. And it was an amazing deal. He loved it. The sellers thought it was amazing. And the seller even got a pic with the influencer, the local influencer, and posted it. And I was like, that's freaking cool. All right, keep going.
Yeah, now that's gonna really depend, Jeremy,
please do.
on that type of seller and their age range, right? Like, let me just get that real straight. Like, there will be some people who understand that, but my experience more times than not is that luxury sellers do not. I mean, I've had some really push back on having an open house at all until I really talked to them about they do not want a parade, some of them, of unqualified people. There are some in the beginning that will say that they want to qualify all the buyers, and you kind of have to talk them around that.
Oh, yes.
It's probably a thing. I mean, it is a thing, but it's insulting to everybody, kind of. But they're used to being an exclusive company. They're used to living in exclusive places. And so having them open their home to an Instagram influencer is absolutely not going to work for every seller, most likely. So I love the idea.
I think you're right, though. I think you do have to, go talk to your sellers about your marketing plan. Talk to them about it. Let them approve it, right? Let them say, oh, yeah, oh, no, and just fill them out a little bit about it. Have some fun with it. Say, hey, I've done this in the past, or I've done that in the past, or, share with them, talk to them. I got some questions coming in. I'm going to go and address one of them now. It says, my luxury sellers do not want it open to the public. How can we overcome that? VIB, right? These are very important people you're inviting to this thing. And I think that's one definitely way to overcome it. I saw somebody comment that says that they can't have open houses, like in certain communities you won't allow them to have open houses. But that doesn't stop you from doing it online. Okay. You guys, when COVID hit, you guys remember when COVID hit and everybody did open houses online? Like it was just a thing that blew up. You can still do that. And that probably doesn't go against their standards. I mean, you have to double check to make sure you're not breaking rules. But I still love the idea of live open houses and inviting people to it. Like you could do an event through Facebook, for example, invite people to that event, and it works. People show up to those things. Very cool. I love it. A lot of stuff going through the chat, guys. I can't grab a hold of all of it, but you guys are rock stars and keep listening in. The day of the open house. All right, it's the day, right? Stress sets in a little bit, maybe not. Maybe you guys are cool as a cucumber, but it's the day of the open house. And so you want to make sure these things are done, right? Directional open houses, if you want to do them, right? Boosted videos, welcome post on social media. It's always something good a couple hours before the open house or an hour before the open house. I've seen branded water bottles. I've seen them classy. I've seen them really nice. And people do take them. And so, another little piece of branding in there. Branded cookies. Who doesn't love cookies? I don't care if you're selling a $300,000 home or a $5 million home. Everybody loves cookies. At least just maybe it's just me. Maybe I just love cookies. I don't know. Sign-in sheets, guys, or an app. I've seen those done very, very well, very classy, right? Not like, it looks like you put it on a Word doc and it looks horrible, but it's very cleanly done. There's so many apps out there that work. I can't remember all of them right now. I know the KV Core open house app works great. I've got a whole bunch of luxury agents that use that. There's so many options, guys, to really capture people's information. But the real key there is, are you capturing people's information? Because capturing is step one, and then doing something with that later, that's step two.
Yeah.
And so capturing is a good deal. So at least I know it's all about personal, right? It's all about, building that relationship when they walk in the door. So you don't want to, as soon as they walk in, oh, can you sign in? Right? That's scary to me. And so you want to make it part of it. Yeah, go for it.
I have rarely, if I'm telling you, I mean, like one or two out of hundreds, have had people refuse to sign in. Now, I have for a very long time, I used a Google form. So I customized the top of the Google form with a picture of the home, some part of the picture of that home. It says the address and the date. And then I can change, and I've worked with different required and different things that I put on there. But the great thing about Google Forms is it's always going to a spreadsheet. It's time stamped. I can run over to my laptop, which is somewhere else, somewhat discreetly hidden, and jot down, these folks have a house to sell in East Sandwich. I can jot down a couple of notes if I can on that spreadsheet real quickly. And then, I think the other thing about your, how are you presenting your assets at the open house on day up, right? You don't want it to be right at the door, because hopefully you'll have a number of people walking in. You need to be at the door.
That's good.
You need to be making eye contact with every person that walks in that house. You need to shake their hand and make eye contact, introduce yourself, welcome them to the home, give them a couple of highlights and say, please wander, I'm going to be here. Over there at the breakfast bar, you'll see an entire display. And I guess we can talk about what's on that display.
Yeah, I love that. I think, knowing, and I've walked in so many open houses, guys, and I as a marketing coach, I'm just a little judgy. I guess that's when I walk into open houses, I'm like, oh, or, and I try not to tell them about it, but when I walk in, I'm like, okay. And so we learned a little bit this. So put your material not at the front, put your material off to the side, right? And then point to it. Show them, oh, guys, there's so much material over there if you want to grab some before you leave, before you, whatever. There's so much opportunity there. I've seen QR codes on doormat. I've seen all kinds of stupid stuff, guys. I've seen it done so many different ways. But you got to know what works for you and what's going to work for that client. I know, Lisa, before this workshop started, we talked a little about, knowing the clients, knowing the people that's possibly going to buy this home. And so think through, who your avatar is for these homes. Think through who are the people we're going to focus on and build out your marketing materials for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And so depending on what you do for display, okay, so here we are. This is the slide that I think.
Yep.
A couple things. What I have done is I have bought 8.5 by 11 plexiglass frames that are on a stand. And in those, I have all of the big, of course, I have a QR code that's going to go directly to the video and all the fact sheets. So they can always get that if they want it. But people love paper. I mean, it's hysterical. People will take, we're in two different MLSs and it's the same sheets kind of, but they still will take both of them, even though I'll say, well, that's, anyway. So I have the QR code for the video, and then I'll usually have the floor plans. I'll have highlight. We usually do a feature sheet, but they all are in the black and gold. They all have gold trim. If I put something in a frame, it's a gold frame. For example, we have to disclose that we're seller agents. It's part of our agency disclosure here in Massachusetts. So that statement is in a gold frame right there. Like everything looks pretty swanky on this display. I have a tall piece that has all the different pieces in there if they insist on taking paper. And then, of course, we have the bound house book. So that's going to have all of your other information that they can get, your Title V inspection, all the things that we need that will be of interest to some people. You want to make sure that all that information is on site. But please, you also want to make sure that all that information is uploaded to MLS so that agents never have to say they couldn't find any bit of information about your home.
That's really good. Archie's asking we get samples. Yeah, Archie, I tell you what, after this workshop, I'll send you a slide deck and I'll try to get a whole bunch of samples from all the ambassadors and some of the council members and kind of what they do. And that way we can kind of get some samples going through out to you guys via email. So I'll work on that for sure. Okay, guys, look at all this. Printed brochures, FAQ, surveys. There's so many options. I love the idea of make sure you have the COA and the HOA information. That's really important. I've walked through several open houses with none of that. And I'm like, okay, I got questions. And so that we never want to like have them like not be able to answer the questions right there. Mortgage lender information. I've even seen I've seen even luxury homes partner with mortgage lenders there on site. And I've seen so many options for that. Okay. Leverage high quality, and there's the key word, high quality content, right? Post high resolution images and videos of the property. Create virtual tours, right? I've seen that done very, very well. Share content that showcases the lifestyle, right? And this stuff works. This stuff definitely works. Let your mortgage partner help. I love the coming through the chat. I love this kind of stuff, guys, right? Yes, I'll definitely look you guys up. Special programs, anything you can do, guys, to offer something to the people walking in, right? You're giving them something. I always, whenever I do any kind of marketing event, guys, you guys know Gary Vee, right? Gary Vee is that big personality, talks about marketing all the time. And so his big strategy is give, and then ask. And so when someone goes into an open house, give them something, and then you can dive into more details about what they're looking for. You know, are they having anybody helping them? You know, how long you've been searching for a home? You know, what's your current status of your home? You can get personal once you do something to earn that personal touch, right? Because too many times I've walked into open houses and I've been bombarded with 4, 5, 6 questions. And I'm like, okay, back up, dude. You know, just let me walk through. And we just want to make sure you build the relationship.
Yeah. And have other, if you can have obviously other agents, to make sure. But in terms of some of this high quality content, there's a couple things. One is that, one of the suggestions that has been made, and I think it's an amazing one, and this is in your runway, but then you could also display it at the open house is there a property kind of a positioning statement? Beyond your property description, which hopefully is very elegant, and thanks to ChatGPT, we have all kinds of maybe improved languaging in the past year, which is lovely. But is there, and you can get the property positioning statement from our friends at ChatGPT as well. But think about that. That helps. It helps the seller because they're going to be contributing to that. It helps you when thinking about your marketing efforts and who are you really marketing this property to. And then to have a property positioning statement prominently displayed in your display area in a very classy format it's showing that you really understand the fit and finishes and beauty of that home, but it's also hopefully starting some other people to be like, hey, if I want to sell my home, I'm going to get this girl to come sell my home. She really gets my home. Yeah. So it's just another step that I think is a layer of luxury that's important. This is not, luxury homes are not real estate 101. Yep. Let's just be very clear, right? I mean, the basics are there, but there are a lot of these other pieces that are worthy of your, we get paid a lot of money to do this. So
absolutely. I love Ray's question because would you suggest easel stands in every room or in each room with how the furniture could look like if it's an open, right? If they've already removed out, right? It does make it hard for open houses. And so I do like the idea of somehow showcasing what it could look like. I had an agent that had like a $1.2 million listing, if I remember correctly, that it was empty, right? And they were doing open houses and they just took a picture of a couple of the rooms and they sent it off for virtual staging, 20, 25 bucks or something like that, sent it off to virtual staging. And then they had those photos blown up onto an etch board.
Absolutely.
And it was a cool idea. And I think that is definitely worth the investment, especially because it keeps people an idea of what it could look like. Because
but
it's
again,
hard.
keep in mind, who is that ideal buyer?
That's good.
Do they want to look at a children's playroom or do they want to look at a very upscale office, in-home office, right?
It's
So
really good.
think about that. But yeah, we have definitely done that in homes, made a couple of mock-ups
Yeah, there's
and
so many online tools for virtual staging, guys. Virtual staging AI.com is another one. I think there's so many out there. But just search virtual staging and it'll come up. There's like Box Brownies, one I've used in the past.
Mhm.
There's so many out there that you could go to. I love this slide. I want to put in here just for a reason. Be hospitable and welcoming. Okay. So focus on that. This is a relationship building tool for you. This open house is. And so have food, water, maybe even small toys. I've seen that. If you have families that come in, it's a family type of home. I've seen all kinds of different options for that. But number one, put a smile on your freaking face like you want to be there and you want to be there the whole time. And there's been so many times I've walked into, especially in luxury homes, open houses, and I'm like, they don't want to be here. I can tell. And so if that comes off from just a normal person, it probably comes off to everybody. So have some fun, enjoy being there, and really put your time in to get these relationships built. Love that. All right. Outside the box ideas. This is kind of where I excel at a little bit. I love outside the box ideas. Some work, some don't. It really depends on the client, it depends on the property, it depends on the location. But I've listed out a few ideas here. Luxury food truck rally. I've seen that done. I saw that done up in the New York area. Thought that was a genius idea. Brought a whole bunch of food trucks into the neighborhood, and actually the neighborhood promoted it for them. The neighborhood actually promoted the open house event because they have food trucks there. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And so there is some options you can do, right? A yacht experience. If you have a yacht, that comes, well, I mean, a boat dock or whatever that comes with the property, which there's a lot of those properties come with boat docks, guys. And so, maybe you could do some kind of experience, right? Maybe you could take people on rides, hire a boat captain, take someone on rides. You never know what you could do with this. Have some outside the box fun with this. I've seen a celebrity chef. I've seen them cook in the actual kitchen while the open house is going on. I've seen virtual reality tours, which that's big. I've seen private movie screening. Now, that's one I very rarely saw, but I've seen it. They actually had a private movie screening in the theater room of this luxury home. It brought in like 50 people and it couldn't even fit them all into the theater room. I was like, okay, that's big. Luxury car test drive. I've seen that one. I've seen the wine and cheese soirees. I've seen those. There's just so many options out there, guys. And are they gimmicky? Maybe. But do they bring people in? Sure, they do. And so that's your whole thought process. Are you bringing the right people? I think that's the big key when you're thinking outside the box events. Are these things going to bring in the right people? Because I'm telling you right now, I don't want to host an event that brings in hundreds of people if they're all the wrong people, right? Yeah, maybe it's good to get handshakes and FaceTime, that kind of stuff. Great. But you got to make sure it works. Okay. Friday night, wine and cheese. I love it. Local art gallery. I've seen that one. I saw that one actually in Arizona recently. Somebody posted about it. They actually brought in 4 local artists. They displayed their art in this home throughout the home. And they actually had an art gallery the whole day. It was like an all-day event. And it brought in like 50 to 75 people that normally wouldn't come to those. It was great. I thought it was a genius idea. Very cool ideas.
Yeah.
Feel free, guys. If you guys have outside the box ideas, drop them in the chat. Let's hear about them.
So a lot of those I see as just go back a slide.
Yep.
A lot of those I see as agent events. It's interesting because my mind is so set on that because to me that's a big piece of my marketing, of our marketing is actually connecting with the agents who are going to bring the buyers. I think a wine and cheese soiree is certainly something that could be for a regular open house. But another idea for open house, maybe not initially, because hopefully initially there's going to be a lot of buzz around a new property and you've built up to it, you've had a runway, they've got this big explosion in the first weekend. We always do 2 days, a couple of hours each day, really make it a whole weekend event. But there is, and someone kind of put something in the chat around this, where there's a gal named Allie, I can't think of her last name. She's on the West Coast, EXP agent, who has a business that she's created around pop-ups.
Wow.
At open houses. So you have a pop-up of a local business. It could be now, again, aligned with the buyers that you're looking for this home, but it could be a high-end jewelry maker. It could be, a high-end caterer. It could be a high-end dress designer, something that would be commensurate with the home and it would fit in. But then they're marketing like crazy because it's their business that's a pop-up. And you're marketing that, you know, you've got this amazing home coming on the market. Oh, and by the way, we have a pop-up exclusive designer who's also going to be there. And it's been hugely effective
I
and
love
really a
that.
win-win. So it's a little
That
bit
is
more than
awesome.
kind of that local business, because businesses that are used to doing a pop-up have the stuff to do the pop-up, right? So
Yep.
anyway.
I love that. I love the idea of pop-up, guys. And so somebody mentioned in the comments there, I just saw it quickly, was somebody hosted a broker open house as a fashion show. Now, if
Love it.
you're in like that kind, I mean, you're going to draw people that's going to meet what you're looking for with something like that. That's a genius. That's going down on my notepad as a genius idea. And I'm definitely going to share that with my clients. So that's awesome.
And
Uh,
donate some of the proceeds to a local nonprofit from the purchases.
so
I
good.
mean, that is really amazing. Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Okay, last but not least, guys, please ensure to follow up with all attendees open house. Like this is a huge deal, okay? Because I've seen so many agents do a great job of these open houses, right? Get 20, 30, 40 people come through or more, and then they blah. They don't follow up or anything. They don't do anything. They just are like, oh, hope they reach out to me. That's a bunch of hogwash. Okay, guys, we have to do the work. Okay. So after the open house is over, you're not done, right? So one big tip I've done is before I leave the open house. Now, this is some commitment. So just know this is, but it definitely works. Before you leave the open house, I have their information. I have their phone numbers. What I usually do is before I leave the open house, pull your cell phone out, record a personalized video for everybody that came through the open house.
Yeah.
Like with the kitchen in your background, right? The kitchen they saw they fell in love with. Have it in your background. And so you're saying going, hey, Susan, it was a pleasure meeting you at the open house today. I just want to reach out to you and say, hey, if you need something from me, if you have any questions about the house or a question about any other house, feel free to reach out to me anytime. This is my cell phone. Just text me anytime and then send the video because I can guarantee you that's your first video they've received this week. I almost guarantee it because no one sends personalized videos anymore, especially via text message. So step outside the box and it freaking works because they're like, oh, he hasn't left the open house yet. Oh, I just went through that. That's the gorgeous kitchen. Honey, that's the kitchen I fell in love with, right? That's what we're trying to build that emotional feel out of these text messages. And I've rarely seen people not text back. Okay. You send them a video text message, especially personalized to them, they're at least going to heart it. They're at least going to reply back and say, wow, thanks so much. You know what? I am. And then whatever happens, whatever story comes part of that, that works. Plus, put them into your CRM, right? If you don't have a CRM, you need a CRM. Put them into your CRM, drip them some information, sign them up for open houses. Most CRMs can allow you to set up an open house search. So where every time an open house comes open, it would email the person that information. Sign them up. Get them in doing something with you, right? They want to know who you are and continually mail them stuff. Get them stuff out. Text message them a week later. Whatever it takes to get the deal done, right? Because these open houses, yes, they're great to sell the property, but they're also great to build more relationships. And that's what
Absolutely.
I love about them.
Yeah. So
Oh,
I usually record a video from the house in front of like one of the most striking features. And then I quickly, make a mailing list of that day from the Google spreadsheet that was just
good.
created through the open house sign in. And I have a great template in BombBomb and I send that. And then the nice thing about BombBomb or a program like that is you can see who's opening it, who's playing the video, who opened it tomorrow, who opens it 3 days from now. And you really have a focused idea of who was really interested, but doesn't really want to raise their hand yet. So that's what I've done.
I love that. All right, guys. And so that pretty much takes us through the entire slide deck we have for you today, which I would definitely share with each of you guys that came in and registered for this event. But anything that you guys have questions about open houses, this is your time. So feel free to ask away. Lisa, go for it.
All right. Well, I still have a couple quick things I want to make sure we mention.
Lay it on it.
One of them is and I don't want to end with this, but we'll do it, now, is
Yep.
that there are some challenges with working with this luxury population as we continue to talk about, and certainly with open houses. One of them is you're dealing with the most demanding buyers and sellers. And so really make sure you're feeling comfortable around having conversations with them and sometimes uncomfortable conversations. Brian Buffini always says, the clock is ticking from when they're going to love you to when they're going to hate you. So you got to get in there and get that done as quickly as you can. Expensive homes take longer to sell. So days on market are different. Those market reports that you bring up, make sure you're customizing and tailoring them to the upper tier. If they see the whole realm of your market report, they're going to see an awful lot of properties that sold in 3 days.
Yeah.
And that's not the expectation that we want to set. We want to have, we want to like do the opposite, under promise and over deliver, right?
I love it.
For sure. And then again, we talked about this a little bit, but I want to make sure we really mention it. Make sure you, first of all, that you know the home inside and out. It's a crying shame that I have agents continually say to me, "Oh, thank God you really know the answer to that question." And I'll be like, "Of course I know the answer to that question. I'm the listing agent." And they'll just say, "Oh, so many agents don't have any idea, what the heat source is, I mean, basic things about the home." Hopefully you have an amazing, property sheet. But are there some unique features? Is the stove really super fabulous? Are there some kind of really fabulous lighting? I'm a lighting nut. Is there a designer light fixture? And then that can become your social media post. You don't have to be like, "Hey, I got an open house at 123 Main Street." You could say, "Oh my God, have you ever heard of Hubbard and Forge? They make the most amazing fixtures. Here's two of them. And by the way, one of them is going to be in an open house I'm doing this next weekend," right? So you can build all kinds of assets around some of those really unique features. Your seller's thrilled to death because they're so proud of that stuff. And it gives you something interesting to share with people rather than, "I'm doing an open house at 123 Main Street." You can talk about whether it's the hood over the thing or the kind of bluestone or I mean, there are unique features in luxury homes. So what are some of those and how can you use them to your benefit? So I just want to make sure I
That's
mention
so
that.
good. Some of the stuff coming in, guys. I've got questions about sellers questionnaires. I've got
Mhm.
actually a resource with a sellers questionnaire. I'll be glad to share with you guys. I'll find that and make a note of that. And so there is just so much you could do. Like there's some things to think through, right? Safety of the property when you're doing these events. I mean, that's stuff you have to think through as an agent because you don't want that coming back on you. And so there are some things to look at, but doing nothing is not okay. So doing something is okay. Increase your sellers. Let your sellers' expectations be increased, right? Knowing that they hired the right person. And every time you do something with these open houses, with any events you do, that puts it in their mind, right? And that's like Lisa said, these sellers are demanding. And so we want to make sure, we are doing the right things, take the right steps, and fall in the right direction. So basics are important, guys. Stepping outside the box is awesome sometimes, but just make sure you're doing what you need to do. I love that. All right, guys. So I think, as far as I know, Lisa, unless they've got big time questions, we
Yeah,
are
I'm looking
wrapping.
to
Starting
see. Yeah, I'm looking to see if there's anything in here that luxury market report. Um, oh, I always make sure also I have a couple of copies of our luxury presentation,
Oh, that's a great idea.
just like laying around in case somebody bumps into it, so that they'll see, printed on beautiful paper. And then I have the piece that has all of Wall Street Journal, Barron's, all of all the high-end publications that we advertise in, so that everyone gets to see that. And hopefully we're going to peak. We want to sell the home, but we also want to sell ourselves and our
I
space.
think that's genius because you should have that. You should have your tools and resources with you guys, right? No matter where you're at, what you're doing, have your seller's presentation there because you just never know. Yeah, absolutely. We'll get the recording out to everybody. Sure thing on that. You guys have a luxury presentation. We do have an amazing luxury presentation. You can actually auto create it inside the XP Luxury Design Center, and it's crucial. I love it. I'll send a sample out with everybody too. I'll try to do that.
Tammy has her hand raised.
Where are we at? So go for it. If you let me see if I can
Friend.
unmute you, Tammy. Hold on one second. I'm allowed to talk. Tammy, bring it on. What you got? You may have to unmute Tammy.
Yeah.
Maybe you're just giving me a high five. I'm okay with that too.
All right. Well,
Oh, well, moving on. Ray, you got anything going on?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
yep.
go for it.
Okay. Thank you both for doing this as well.
Yeah.
So question, I have a $2.6 million home. It is off of a busy street and there's barely any parking at the property. It's probably enough for maybe 4 or 5 cars. So doing an open house kind of concerns me. They do have a small park that's almost a mile from the property. I was thinking about doing like a shuttle service, like having people park there, doing a shuttle service back and forth to the house. However, I don't know, for one, how many people would come, and for two, if that's like some kind of a liability that,
Sure.
yeah.
That's a
Is
great, I
there,
mean, go ahead,
is
Lisa.
there street parking there?
No.
So, I mean, part of me wants to say, listen, if somebody wants to get into a house, they're going to find a way to go park their car somewhere and get in, right? I mean, you've got busy city, high luxury condos. People find a way to get in there. I would make sure you're not telling yourself the story that that's why you're having a problem selling it, and continue to focus on the things that make that property stunning, elegant, and amazing.
Now, I don't know how far the walk is. I did see this done in the Miami area. Just as just a outside the box thought that it was had the same problem. It was kind of down this long street that there was hardly no parking, and they put 4 or 5 easels up on the way to walk to the home from whatever parking place they were at. And they actually had photos of the inside of the property, like on these easels, walking. So you kind of experience the home before you even get there. And so I thought that was a cool idea. I don't know if that would work for you or not, but I saw it. I thought it was great.
And in the remarks for the open house, you could say, hey, park down the street in XYZ Park,
Okay.
as a thought. But I think your instinct is right that the shuttle could be a liability unless it's agents and blah, blah,
Right.
but for regular people, I would know probably.
Yeah, it's a great question. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. I'll definitely put some more
Thank
Good
thought.
luck. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Tons of people wanting to talk. Let's see if we can get a few more people rolling in. Trong, I think if I said that name right, if I said it wrong, I apologize. You guys
You're
muted?
muted.
I'm going to move on. I'll come back to you guys if that didn't work. All right. Tracy, I'm going to allow you to talk real quick, Tracy.
Hey, I appreciate it. So I'm in Jacksonville, Florida, and just wanted to ask, I'm new to luxury, market. Our market actually starts at 700,
Yeah.
and we had a luxury listing, but I'm working with a buyer right now, and we're under contract, and it's listed at 1.2 million, which I'm really excited about. That's my first real opportunity.
Yay!
So I'm so excited. And I'm trying to move my whole team into luxury as
Love
well.
it.
So one of the things that I'm trying to figure out is what would be the best way. This is a golf club community.
Okay.
So I'm trying to figure out the best way to market this when it sells, to market myself into more of the luxury listing side of it, because
Yeah.
this is the community I know well. I've sold several homes in there. I've been the buyer's agent for 3, homes in that community, but now I want to transition it into more of the listing
Love it.
side. So do you have any kind of insight as to how I can kind of move into that direction?
Sure. Good question. Lisa, you think as you're thinking through kind of response, my thought is, guys, one, you have to let people know what you're doing, right? That's step number one. I'm sure people know Lisa in her community, right? And so why do they know Lisa? Because she talks about it. She actually gets out there and she shares, so Lisa, let's do this. Let's wrap it up. What do you do, Lisa, to let people know what you do every day?
Well, and what I was going to say for this gal, and it's the same thing really, is to be philanthropic and support the things that are important to that golf community and to those people that are there. You do not want to be, you want to be elegant, but you want to be visible. So how can you support, whatever, are they doing charitable events at that golf club? Are they doing tournaments? Are they doing specialized dinners? Can you help organize a charitable event? Be a contributor, because givers get, right? And that's, you'll just feel better about doing that. But for me, that's always been again, I am a serial volunteer, and that has been because I feel like I'm serving. And so I don't mind being, the realtor, and everyone knows I'm the realtor and it says it on everything, but I'm also serving. So I would say find what's important to that community. If you live there, what charitable events are they doing? How can you show up and support that?
I think that's a great.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. And I was thinking about some mail, direct mail to that community also, saying that we're under contract. I don't know that, because we're representing the buyer. So,
Sure.
I'm not sure if that would help or hinder my
I
opportunity.
think
to live.
anything you do is probably going to be a benefit as long as it's done elegantly and it's done to a place that
Correct.
that falls in your heart. And so I think that those are you've tons of other things. People come drop in the chat some ideas as well.
Okay.
Sponsor tournament, membership opportunities. There's so much you can do, but you don't have to spend a lot of money. You have to just volunteer your time up front. At least that's what I've seen many agents do is, hey, how can I help? Use those 3 or 4 words. How can I help? And it will kind of open doors for you. And I think that's great. I love it. I'm rooting you on. I hope you kill it down there,
Thank
and
you.
you get at least 2 or 3 more luxury listings very shortly. So
Thank you. And thanks,
yeah,
Matt.
absolutely.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. All right, a few more people, guys. Let's see if we can wrap it up. See Judy. I'm gonna try to look at Judy here, and I'll go to Flippy next. Let's see, Judy, are you available?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah. What's up?
Yes, I'm a brand new agent up here in Virginia.
Yay.
So what is you consider the price point for luxury real estate?
Sure. I think if Janie was on here, she'd give you the whole, breakdown definition of it. But it's like the top 10, take whatever the top 10% is, and then do kind of an average of that. So like, for example, like in my area, I'm in central Kentucky region. So you're probably at 700,000 to 900,000. That's kind of a luxury kind of starting place for us.
Okay.
And it'd be different, I'm sure, for Lisa. She's different up in the Cape Cod area. So, I think, defining luxury is different across the board. And some brokers define it as specific price points, right? But I just don't feel that way. I believe that every place is different. And so, if there is luxury homes that can sometimes $700,000, $600,000. I've seen those. I've seen some very luxury homes in certain areas, but I've also seen some that are, 2.2 million is not even luxury. So I think that where you are, I mean, I don't know, I haven't looked at the numbers and stuff like that where you are, but I think you just look what that average is of those top 10 tier, top 15, and kind of see what that feels like for you. And then if you really want to target that area, go out there and find the neighborhoods that are that price point. And then you can start moving into that more of that luxury feel. And obviously we know that, we can get 1 or 2 properties compared to the $300,000 properties, and it just works for us. So I think that find your focus. And Lisa, I don't know any tip points for that one?
I think just what you said. I mean, I think that, like CLHMS used to have a formula, but basically, and I know at EXP, we kind of had to make a broad category of 1 million or over. It really depends on the market. And there can be homes. I mean, I've certainly had a home or two that had a price point that was high because of the location.
Yep.
But the home really wasn't a luxury home.
I get it.
So that stuff happens, right? I'm still going to use all the marketing because I get to use all of my fancy EXP luxury marketing, but
I love it.
Was not exactly.
Okay.
Well, Judy, we are rooting you on. Go for it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. I got Farah, I believe. Farah.
Hey, Farah.
Hey, what's up?
The name of that fixture company. I didn't catch it.
Oh, it's Hubbardton, HUBBARDTON Forge, FORGE. Anyway, I'll show you some pictures. It's just
Love it.
It's
Thank you.
in Vermont.
You're welcome. Resources are great.
Yeah.
Let's see. I always mess the Philip, is that right? I'm looking at the talk chat and my thing's covering up. So hopefully, there you go. Chat with me.
Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Lisa. Well, I have this great news, and it's a win not only for myself but for entire EXP Luxury. I was able to sign off a listing of 16.5 million.
Woo!
All right, wait a minute. Pause break. Wait a minute. Pause break for a minute, man. Pause break. This is called a celebration break. So in the chat, guys, everybody get some claps, get some hands, because we're going to give it up to him, because that is worth celebrating for a minute. So congratulations, man. Love that.
Thank you. And listen how it was challenging, but I was able to accomplish it. And listen to this. It's inside the gated community in Fort Lauderdale, where Lionel Messi, the soccer player #1 in the world, where he bought.
Nice.
So
man,
this
that
is
an
a
awesome
unique
accomplishment.
opportunity, which I want to leverage and open this for you, because not only my marketing efforts, but I think it's a win for EXP Luxury Division that we can show that we are on the higher end. And so I wanted to ask you several things. Obviously, we can do a separate conversation, but for today's webinar, I wanted to ask you if how can we connect with the relocation division, or we have a sports and entertainment division within the EXP that I can connect not with the workplace, but like more direct to kind of put this in a, you know, in our marketing throughout, you know.
I'm going to take a picture of your name right now, man. So I have it in my notes, and I'm
And
going
you
to
can check it out. I have certain challenges. I already took the new pictures.
Cool.
But the owner wanted me to list it right away, even with
Sure.
iPhone picture. But
Oh
I
yeah,
said,
man.
no,
They
no.
want you. They want it done.
Exactly. So I say,
you're like,
okay,
no, stop.
exactly. Yeah, but you know, I had to be because in my speech I say, hey, don't wait until May because I wanted to sign it off because spring season is here. It's a good time for schools, and this one of the top schools in the nation is like 2 blocks from there. So there are many things. I'm preparing all my marketing is live, but it doesn't have all the materials and tools that we have. So, but I'm running to get it on. So if I need your support.
Yeah, man. I tell you what, I'm just gonna screenshot your phone. I'll reach out to you via direct message through workplace there or via email, and I'll try to get you in contact with the people you need to get contact with. That way we can leverage this network. We massive network we have. We want to leverage it to
Lux
really
VT
push
is
this
going
thing
to
out.
be Lux VT is going to be very helpful with
and
that.
if you want to check it out, it's 20 Compass Isle or Lauderdale.
Love it. Thanks you so much, man. I appreciate you. Thanks for highlighting it and keep rocking. Love it, man.
Thank you.
All right, guys. It is. I know we got tons more hands up. I just don't think we can get to them all, but it is time to wrap it up. If you guys have other additional questions, feel free to reach out to me or Lisa. We'd glad to try to answer as much as we possibly can. You know, our heart and passion, guys, is to see you guys succeed. That's why we put the time and effort into it, to see you guys grow. And so if you guys need anything else from us, feel free to reach out. Be sure to tune in. We actually the second Tuesday of next month, or the second Wednesday of next month, we're working on amazing buyers, kind of a buyer's presentation that we're going to be rolling out, guys, for our EXP Luxury members. So that will be live for our EXP Luxury members. And then be sure, if you want to join, if you're not an EXP Luxury member, be sure to join in on the 4th Wednesdays of every month during these open sessions. So, guys, you guys are awesome. Lisa, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your valuable insight.
It was a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
You guys are awesome. Take care, guys. Have a great rest of your day.
Have a great day.
See y'all.